P3 from over last hour or so of the race.
I think your mic is incredibly quiet. I don't know if it's the same for the stream, but it is.
Yeah, I can't. This is much I can do about it. On the stream, fine. At least the level is showing that.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Just for the Discord call, it sounds a little odd, but I'm sure it's all right. The moment I'm just kind of watching all the action happen. I'm gonna see if I can get my ACC race control to tell me what's going on, so I can hopefully update on what.
While you're doing that, I'll just quickly run through the order. Looks to have changed a little bit from when we were earlier. So currently leading the way, we've got Callum Jones for number 90 Porsche. P2, the Davide for 155 BMW. Then in P3, Kevin Mason, Formula T. P4 is Jay Starker for Formula T BMW. Lance and Matt, 5, Snowdog currently in the pit, 6, 7, Carriage for Porsche. 7, Henry Tom, Toga Academy number 450, Aaron, moving up to P6, overtaking Snowdog. P8 we have Stephen Bain from the race with Lexus. Ben Brown, 9, good racing in Mercedes. 10 we have Arlen Redcliffe, Infinity Racing Township, Ferrari. Paul Gossel, P11 in the ACM, 485 Aston Martin. In P12 we have Isidore Hunt from Aston Martin. 13 Arthur Jackson from number 404 Porsche. Then we have Daniel Hardner in the short club Blue Shark racing the 424 Ferrari 14. P15 is Baby Ryan in the Infinity Racing Triple A. And then in we have Ben Gilroy in 34 to that's the running order. Got quite a spread throughout the field at the minute. It's like Snowdog coming at pit is about 4.5 seconds by Stephen Bain. So that's probably the first battle that's going on.
Yeah, with Snowy only within about 5 seconds of the number 69 Lexus. Again, it's just going to show how close a lot of these cars are. We've got a lot of drivers that are out there, lots of varying skill levels, and to have cars that are this close fighting on track, after 5 hours of racing is an incredible achievement. An absolutely fantastic job from them.
Yeah, definitely. For the some of the gaps are fairly big, but there's also some that are still close enough to make it interesting. Last hour or so. But Snowdog only 4.5 seconds behind Stephen Bain. But they've got Talbot car, for 8.5 seconds behind P3. So, gain some time now. Get off the final stages to go.
Definitely. As one of the drivers of the number 424, I will say we have had a couple of ups and downs. The second driver here we had in, it was his first time, I think, properly doing an endurance race outside of a different racing league that we have been partaking in. You know, he did his job, and I think our job now is just being kind of keep our head down, keep focused, and just you know, roll the punches and just get things to work. So I've kind of got, I believe, our fastest driver in at the moment, who has just won the championship in their silver class in the other racing league we've been running. So looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Right, and you're right there, like endurance racing. But it's interesting getting to the like and learning the skills required to be able to drive the car for some of these long stints. Either way, learning how to drive the car for an hour and kind of push the limit if you can is a skill that takes some time to learn. I'm sure your driver today doing his first race, that's an invaluable first step into it.
Yeah, definitely. We're really proud of the team to just like be able to partake in these races. And I've got to say as well, as someone who has been kind of organising the race with the help of everyone from ACM, just being awesome with like their stewarding, getting people on commentary, you know, helping me with getting the server running and all that stuff. They've been absolutely amazing. All the teams who've shown up, even some of the drivers who are tackling this solo. The 888 Lamborghini, I believe he's doing it solo, and that again doesn't matter where he finishes, because if he finishes this 6-hour endurance race, you know, that is still one hell of an achievement for a driver to drive, you know, 6 hours where it's just them in the car, no one else, no sort of teammates chattering in your ear talking about what they're gonna have for dinner. No, just them sitting in the car, driving by themselves for 6 hours. I think I'd go absolutely crazy before I'd be able to cross that finish line.
I've been doing that myself. I can't tell you how good it is from personal experience. It's more the like you before I did it, I like right thing. You usually do a hell of a lot more. Like rest it or do it or anything. Great man. When you're not on the brake, you have to stretch out a little bit, get down the straight. But yeah, definitely a huge achievement to be able to do first things that way. It's solo. Just looking they Hayden Street in that car now for Toga Eastport. And Toga. How do you find down the race today? A little bit earlier on. How did your go?
Honestly, I kind of wish that my stint was a little bit quieter than it was, and all my teammates were jealous because I think I was the only driver to have a stint where we were still like on the lead lap, but I was just so scared of getting involved in any sort of like on-track battling, because I know that a lot of the drivers that are here today are considerably quicker than I am. So anytime there was any sort of fighting going on, I was more so thinking of I just want to get the car across the line, and if I end up in a crash with these guys, it's just not going to be a fun time. So I'd come into the race thinking I just want to get my stint over and get it done. Because I was also planning to do the Misano race for Phoenix Sim Sport, but that race did not exactly go to plan. I got caught up in a pretty big crash at like turn 3 at the race restart. Just winded up two laps behind the leader, like 6 minutes in, and just not really able to fight with anyone. So had to call it quits. So that's if I'm bringing in a bit of a lower energy than I normally do in the commentary box, then that is the reason why. Yeah. So just hopping in the comms, trying to bring a bit more energy so that we can finish off this race with a bang. There's not a lot of action that's happening on track, so instead we're going to have to bring you some grade A banter, provided to you by DUEG and ACM, and of course yourself, Matt, from Big Brain Racing, which is another close partner to ACM.
Yep. Well, we'll certainly do our best, I'm sure. Yeah, I myself am in the middle of a 9-hour race also. Yeah. my energy is probably not what it normally is either, to be honest, but we'll definitely try our best with the commentary for the last 45 minutes of this race. Just seen a couple of penalties on the screen. So we're going to drive through. I only assume that's for track limit.
That was a track limit penalty, yeah. Which around this track really quite easy to get, because there's a lot of corners where you have to really use all of that space. And it looks like the number 69 car has had a bit of an off in the chicane. Just getting back up to speed now. I think they might have run in the grass on the exit there. So that's probably going to dampen their spirits ever so slightly. Car's still going, car still looks nice and healthy, but that has really put a dent in them trying to run away from the number 67 Garage 42 car, who's now within about 3 seconds of them.
Yes, when it landed,
something like that, yeah. And then, it looks like actually 67 just got a drive-through penalty. I would also assume that's for track limits. Probably similarly, one would assume. So that's going to drop them down a couple of positions as they're pulling the pit lane to serve that penalty now. That's going to bump up Brown to position 8. The Triple A car has just cleared their drive-through penalty. You can see just behind the number 900 Mercedes, just coming out the pit lane. And yeah, that's certainly thrown a bit of a spanner in the works for Garage 42, who now again just coming out of the pit lane now, just down the road from the number 424 Bluey car, who have narrowed that gap to the number 404 Garage 42 car to about 34 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to recover from. 41 minutes to go. We're ahead of them of around about 23 seconds. So you've got to think unless the number 900 car makes it 8, a little bit too that will close down.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be tricky. I think the other big thing to consider are pit cycles. So you have to absolutely nail when you are pulling into the pit lane for a race like this, because you have a maximum 63-minute stint timer, and if you exceed that stint timer, I'm pretty sure you get some sort of penalty. Now, I'm always a good lad. I never go past my stint timer. You know, I'm never up past my bedtime. But you know, sometimes mistakes do happen, and you end up maybe with damage and having to pit early, and that can throw your kind of pit strategy out of whack with everyone else's, and that'll mean you end up serving maybe an extra pit stop compared to the other drivers, so you don't get the penalty for exceeding the stint timer. Which is why I'm trying to keep a very close eye on some of these drivers, some of these cars, because that could become a deciding factor towards the end of this race. If cars have had to serve maybe 1 or 2 extra pit stops, either due to damage, tyre wear, stint timer, anything could happen still in this last 40 minutes of the 6 hours of Hungaroring.
Keeping an eye on. Keep that very good. That might also be an option. Might have to take it. They are running it close to the limit at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. Depending on how fast the number 90 car can get across that finish line, that could actually throw a lot of other people out of whack, because you know, the stint timer is quite strict, and I think the way that my team's been doing it is 1 stop every lap, meaning we'll get close but never exceed that stint timer of 63 minutes. So I think number 44 on those fresh tyres, they're going to be chasing down the 404 Garage 42 car towards the back of the grid. I know it's not very exciting because we are still quite far off, but a lot of the cars have kind of spread out a lot. Many of the cars that are close to each other are likely to have been lapped. I think the closest action we've got on track right now is between Bain and Brown, between Onid, or between the 2 Onid cars actually, for P7 on track, with a gap hovering around 5 seconds. The number 900 whittling that down now pretty quickly. Just see how quick that is actually coming down. It's now, I think it's sinking just below 4 seconds by this point. 2 cars are very close. And Bain has got the number, I think it's 67. It's actually the number 404 just behind, which might mean number 900 is going to have to find their way through the lap traffic and hopefully not lose too much time to the Onid racing car.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that the 404 car trying to unlap themselves, but it's not the easiest job that got straight out the Lexus. Push, not so quick down the straight, quick out the corners, but not so quick on the straight. And it might be difficult to get by. But what the English cars, the Lexus continues to lose time fighting the back. And like I say, that gap is down quite rapidly.
Yeah, definitely. And from what I know from racing against Garage 42 and their drivers in other racing leagues, is that the driver currently in 404, Harper Jackson, is the faster driver out of their team. So they're definitely going to be looking to either unlap themselves or to at least just try and follow that Lexus's line. Because if they can't overtake them on the straight, then the next best thing that they can do is use that Lexus straight line speed to their advantage and just get a slipstream down that straight. Because while that Porsche is incredible through all the other corners, it does kind of lack in the straight line speed department. So I think what they're doing now is to just stick behind that Lexus, stay in the slipstream, and just kind of keep on attacking the track and trying to claw back as much time as they can. Because they're probably seeing that the number 424 car is going to be approaching them, and they're going to have to be very, very cautious because any sort of mistake, any sort of slip up in the flow of the pit lane could throw their race into jeopardy.
Yeah, the gap now between Hidden Bay and around about 3 seconds. So about a second and a half over the last couple of laps.
Yeah, based on the current pace of the Hungaroring car, it looks like they're gaining around half a second a lap, and if they can kind of keep that pace up, then this overtake is going to be pretty easy. And since under the same organisation of Own It, you do have to wonder: are they going to let them fight, give us a little bit more entertainment, more things to commentate over, or are they just going to say not worth the risk and just kind of let the faster car by?
Hopefully the format. Everyone wants to compete today, do this, but sure I both have that thought in my head. Probably in 2 or 3 laps time. How that comes in. We've got a drive so very hard. The drive through. I'm not quite sure how long, but it takes
Yeah, I just realised that they do have a drive through. I'm not sure what it was for. I'd assume track limits because, you know, Hungaroring.
Yeah, it looks like they're serving it straight away, so I'm on board with it. I think this could be quite tight in Texas. We have 32 seconds back to take speed, come in through final corners.
Yeah, that number 90 car is going to be wincing as the time ticks away. Hayden Sweet just rounding the final corner now, blasting it down the main straight, but looks like the 90 car has maintained position, but that gap has been whittled down from about 30 seconds to just around 5.5 seconds. So we might still have a fight for the lead coming in the last half hour of this race. This has just spiced things up incredibly for a really nice end to I would say a pretty decent race.
Definitely, and the interesting thing is the two main fights that we're keeping an eye on track are both between teammates. So the two total cars are second, two only cars 7 and 8.
Yeah. Again, it is. You'd assume that these teams who have cars that are very, very close to each other on track, they're going to probably have either some sort of protocol or some sort of either they're all on one voice chat. Who knows? But they are going to have to, you know, if/when the other car catches up, they're going to have to make a decision of whether or not they want to let them fight and have a bit of a race, you know, for a bit of entertainment, a bit of banter, or if the better move would just to be let one of the other cars through and just let the race happen. A lot of the cars do seem to be very similar on pace. Ben and Brown look to be roughly around the same place, sorry. But the number 900 on their last lap was about 3/10 faster than the number 69 car. With that gap whittled down about 1.6 seconds, we could be seeing a battle for P7 if Owned Racing is saying papaya rules, though I'm not sure it'll be papaya because papaya's a bit more orange than purple, so... Velvet rules, maybe?
The other thing to factor in is still have in the middle of that open tumble as well, so I'm sure Bain will be hoping that he stays there and stops the ground.
Definitely. I think with that port behind, that's probably going to be putting them off in the mirror a little bit. The biggest talent you can have is to just kind of ignore what's happening in the rear view if it's not going to cause any immediate threat. With the number 404 car is, I think, about 5 laps down compared to the number 69 Lexus, which is having a very nice drive at the moment. I don't think it would be in the 404 car's best interest to unlap themselves, because generally they're not going to gain anything by doing so. So I think what they're doing now is probably the smartest move, to just stick behind a car of a similar pace, copy their line, and just let the race happen. Just use that slipstream to your advantage. I mean, by doing that, I think they've gapped the Bluey car by another 2 or 3 seconds while I've not been paying attention. Are they going for a move to try and unlap themselves? It appears as though the answer is yes. By doing that, 404 has pushed the 2 Owned Racing cars right into each other. And I'm not exactly sure what the rules are, as we see number 7 gets a drive-through for track limits. Number 69 is weaving about the track, trying to break the slipstream of that Mercedes. Coming down into the first corner, they're going to have to hope they don't do what a certain Finnish driver in a Mercedes did at the Hungaroring just a few years ago. They get through the corner nice and clean. Redcliffe is going to have to really think about serving that drive-through penalty, and I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not sure what the penalty is for. Again, assuming it's track limits, because that seems to be the reason for most of the penalties around here.
Very unfortunate. I know apparently the penalty seconds is very key when you get it right, but get it in the closing stages of the race always somehow feels worse.
Yeah, because it feels like all of that effort that you've put in is going to waste. Although the number 7 car, I think, is 2 laps up on the number 485. So
Okay.
in terms of actual position in the race, they're not losing that much. But if we're talking about in terms of just kind of ego and good vibes, probably not going to feel too great for them.
All over the back. That makes a good drive out of the last corner, right? Flashing the lights at the teammate. Maybe there are some team orders that aren't being taken, or maybe just done.
Yeah, someone seems there's a bit of multi-21 going on.
Yeah, we obviously don't get to like big sure there's some discussion going on behind.
But that would be a very fun feature to have if we could listen in to the radio with the drivers. Sometimes I'm a little bit concerned. It looks like the Lexus has actually got their indicator on. Either that or they just they've got both of their indicators on actually. I think they're. I don't know. Sometimes you flashing the indicators can mean a lot of different things. For me, I use it when if I'm lapping someone and they do it in a clean and safe manner. I just give them a little flash of the indicators to say thank you very much for not driving like a two. So I'm sure it can have many different meanings. That's why I do it.
Yep, there's many reasons. One big bike has been that second. You say that's the Lexus there, two owners, cars, positions.
Yeah, that did seem a little bit intentional. Like the Lexus was slowed down, let them by, and now they just they get on with it, I suppose. And with about I mean, a lot of the gaps that I'm seeing around the place don't look like they're going to be coming down as much as they need to anytime soon. Biggest ones I would say to look out for. Battle for P12 could be potentially on with Papa Jackson catching up to Cronson by a wide margin on the last lap, almost 2 seconds quicker than them on the previous lap alone. Harper Jackson's hopefully going to want to carry that Garage 42 Porsche a little bit further forward. Top 10 finish might not be on the cards for them, but with Johnson being the closest car to them and on the same lap, having a little bit more action on the track would always be preferable.
Yeah, it's good to look. Right.
More potential to look out for, I'd say, would be the potential battle for P3, although the two cars are going to be lapping at a very similar pace. Both of them, I think, are under the same team, but driving two very different cars. As we see the Bluey car getting a drive-through for track limits. Them immediately serving that penalty. That is a big shame. You really don't want to be getting those drive-throughs. I think that is going to throw their hopes of potentially catching up to the 404 car out the window, as we see. Well, the 404 is right on the back of the number 99 Aston Martin. He may be looking for a move on the exit of the chicane. Thinks better of it, tucks him behind, and that looked like there was contact there. Perhaps it was Jackson who got sandwiched between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes that was lapping them. You might need to have another look at that on the replay.
Yeah, I think it just to make that make it's been contact them with Mercedes behind on the second. I think I'm sure the stewards will be taking a close look at that. Look like
I'm looking back at the replay just about now. I'm just going to try and see what happened. So Harper looks for the move. Yeah, it looks like they might have given them a little tap, and then they've been they've kind of slowed themselves down while they hit the Aston Martin, and then they got hit by the Lexus.
Well, that has to make that up.
Probably. I seem to have broken my ACC by hitting the instant replay button in ACC race control. So, give me just a moment as the 485 car now has a drive-through penalty for track limits. They are they're flying in at the moment. All these drive-through penalties at the end of the race. I think a lot of the drivers are going to be really quite tired, really physically worn down with the amount of time that a lot of these people have been driving. I think that Taberner has been driving for nearly 2 hours straight now, so they're going to be a little bit worn down, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely come down to 45, about 5 seconds. We have a fight for the win. Yeah.
I mean, it is looking like a maybe, I would say. With the last lap having to be caught up by about 8/10. So if they keep up that pace, then we should actually see a pretty decent scrap for the lead in the last 10 minutes of this race.
I'm just going to have to next on board.
I'll keep the chat up, right? I'm not really sure who we are on board with now. Now, while I will say I'm technically a little bit biased with the we're on board the leader, right? Okay, that's what we're doing. We were just talking about the lead. It helps if I listen, you know. Yeah, I think we've had a really good race, really good turnout as well. As someone who's been organising this event with, you know, as the new sim racing lab at my uni, you know, I did feel quite a lot of pressure to, you know, do something spectacular, do something incredible, to kind of outshadow all of my predecessors. But I think they both of them have set me up really well and have inspired me to try some new stuff out. And races like these are what helps us to connect to the sim racing community as a whole. I feel like, you know, we want to make this attempt, this active attempt to really show that this uni has this side to us that we can interact with the community at large, and you know, put on events like this and have such awesome racing, really cool cars, big teams at a really awesome track. So again, I cannot thank anyone enough for you know, people who've tuned in the stream, any of the onboard streams as well. So we've got, I think, 4 different teams that are streaming their onboard on their own channels. Everyone who has shown up to the race today, whether they're doing the stint by themselves, with a friend, even if they're doing the whole race solo, every single person who's shown up here today, including everyone in the audience, I have so much. I'm so grateful for just everyone who has, given us a bit of a shot. I know as a new host on SimGrid, it's probably not the most reassuring thing, but with the help of ACM and all of ACM's partners, Big Brain Racing especially, I don't think this race would have happened. I wouldn't be sat here in the commentary box watching this action as the clock ticks down. We're in the last 15 minutes of the race, and I'm starting to get a little bit emotional. No, I'm not fragile, you're fragile. We're just going to have a look around all the different gaps. To be honest, everything is kind of settling down at this point. The closest gaps that we're seeing are, again, between the teammates that we thought we'd be fighting earlier, with Toga's number 90 and number 135 cars, about 4 seconds off of each other. Similar gap as well between the two Onid Racing cars, the number 900 and the number 69, who the Lexus is now being slowed by the, let me see if I think that's the number 404 of Harbour Jackson. Again, I'm just looking at all these gaps and just seeing what can these drivers do, what can they accomplish, how are they going to tackle this for the last 15 minutes of the race. Lots of different cars that are close to each other on track, but in terms of actual position, I don't believe they are. As we see, I can see the Lexus went a little bit wide there. I don't think the stream is showing it, but the number 90 Lexus went a little bit wide through turn 2. That's cost them a little bit of time to their teammate ahead. The cars that are really close to each other on track. Okay. Gilroy, number 34, they are on their 69th lap. They are well behind the leader by about 120 laps or so. He's still got incredible pace. I think he's just done his fastest lap on that previous run through the course with a 1 minute 43.9. I think that is the fastest lap out of anyone who is still competing in the race, and I do have to say that livery is absolutely gorgeous. I am biased as someone who really thinks dragons are cool. It is a very lovely livery. Discord is freaking out, or if the mic maybe doesn't work on Matt's side for this sort of at the very least. Okay, so we're going to go back to the...
Oh, you did me.
Yeah, so I just on the Discord side of things, I'm not really hearing you mic very well. It kind of sounds like you're speaking through just a bigger phone.
Okay.
I like what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably just under your settings and then your voice and video if it's anywhere. It might even be a webcam mic.
no, it's a proper mic. It's a microphone. hardly do anything. It's really,
One day is I suppose we can make day for now then.
hopefully sounds alright on stream though.
Yes, fingers crossed. I'm sounding just fine, and that you can hear both of us at least. Yeah. So to me, it sounds like your mic is only in like the left ear, and my mic is echoing quite badly. Don't quite know what's going on there. We apologise for the
We're having a few issues.
difficulties.
I'm not really sure. It's something I need to look at. I'm on my second setup. Like I say, I'm doing a 9-hour race.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that would probably make a little bit of sense for the on the side of technical difficulties. I mean, we've only got about 10 minutes left of the race, so I'm sure it's not going to end up mattering too much. What is going to matter a little bit more, though, is that the number 135 is still going strong, and has only about 2.5 seconds to the number 90 in front. As for some reason the game just keeps forcing me off of watching these cars. I think my ACC might be freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And the lap times from the competition.
Definitely, we could still be seeing some really good action towards the end of the race. That's if the number 135 can continue on, and they can keep pushing at the pace they're going right now, getting led by quite nicely by the number 67 Garage 42 car, as we see car number 404 picking up a 10-second penalty, which I can only assume is for the contact that they had made earlier with Tronson. Stewards must have deemed who was responsible, and unfortunately that has wound up with the number 404 Garage 42 car Porsche with a 10-second penalty. Don't know if that's going to matter too much, because as long as they can keep their nose clean and they can keep lapping at the pace they're going, they will finish ahead of the number 99 Aston Martin. But yeah, that does put a little bit more pressure on them, because that technically narrows down that gap from 36 seconds to about 26. So they just need to stay, at least 10 seconds ahead of them to maintain their P12 finish. And I will also say, I'm pretty sure this is Garage 42's first ever Simbra event, and being able to populate 2 cars, throw them on, well, I'd say throwing them in the deep end really, with a full 6-hour endurance race, and for both cars to still be running this late into the race, it's a big achievement. I know that team does incredible things. I think they're, certainly one to watch for if we're going to run more of these events, because I think both cars have been performing really quite well. And with I've forgotten the name of the other driver now, in the number 67 car. I'm starting to feel really bad because I'm like really good names. I think it was A1 Jaeger. There we go. Came back to me there. I'd never seen them around before, but they've come in and they've put in an incredible performance, working alongside Snowdog to bring them up to P9. They find themselves in a pretty comfortable position. Next car ahead of them is Bain, and they're a lap ahead. And the next car behind them is Redcliffe, who is about a lap behind them. So they've not got a lot of pressure on their shoulders. The other Go 42 car does have a little bit more pressure, but with Tronson slowly falling back towards the end of their stint, their P12 position might just be cemented.
Yeah, only 2 seconds now. Chase is on. That's the last lap. Needed about 4/10 seconds out of target.
Oh, that looked like a Ferrari that had gone off in the middle sector. That's the number 7 of Redcliffe, who'd I think made some sort of mistake, probably ran too much on the curb on the inside of 3 and spun the car around. Again, someone called Bradley Walsh, because the chase is on in terms of the battle for first place, the BMW making a slight mistake coming into the chicane when it gets close to those curbs as possible. A lot of this track is actually very, very tricky and technical. The F1 cars make it look so easy. You get into these GT cars, you've got more weight, you've got less downforce, less power, and suddenly you see all of these cars using every single inch of the track that they can. What I'll say is thank God that the track limits in this game are a lot more lenient than they are in F1, because I think a lot of drivers would really, really struggle to maximise the track like they do here. Again, there's a lot of curb usage through a lot of the track. You're having to strategically cut a lot of the corners to get as much of the track used as possible. It's just 1.7 seconds, 1.6 the gap now. That BMW is going to be absolutely flying down the straights as we come into the last 5 or so minutes of this race. The number 9 car is going to go over 200 laps.
Whether they catch him. 1.9 seconds. And probably make mistakes.
Oh, that's number 404 at the pits. Have they? Did they ruin their pit cycle or something? It looked. Oh my gosh! It seems like the number 404 Go 42 car has. I think they've maybe slipped up on their pit cycle, and with just 3 minutes left to go, they're forced to pull into the pit lane, and that is going to make things very, very interesting. Harper Jackson's still sticking in the car. I think they've just driven through to reset the stint timer, but now the gap between them and Tronson is just around 20 seconds. Tanner in the number 424 has narrowed the gap to Tronson down to 15. Aston Martin is looking, maybe making a few mistakes. As we enter the last couple minutes, last couple laps of this race, I think we're going to have this lap and one more. We're going to be rounding out this race with, I believe, 202 laps completed from the leading car. It's all hands on deck now for Hayden Sweet, who's going to be pushing like a madman to try and catch up to, maybe even overtake the number 90 Toga Racing car for first place.
That gap now. Oh, over a second. To do a game.
And the number 7 gets disqualified for not pitting with a damaged car. They had a meatball flag and they did not respect the meatball. Much like the rules in IKEA, you must respect the meatball at all times, and the number 7 have unfortunately paid the price. An unfortunate end to their 6 hours at Hungaroring, only a couple minutes before the end of the race. Very, very unfortunate to see, even with a car like theirs. That is a very, very big shame to see them get disqualified from the race. And I think we're going to be approaching the final lap just now, and I think Hagen has pushed just hard enough to keep that BMW out of the slipstream. The port being really not very great on the straights in terms of exit speed out the corner and just general top speed as well. The BMW is using all of that track. Leader now on the final lap with about a second between the two leading Toga Esports cars. Things are going to be going down to the wire here, the Hungaroring, as we watch Hagen and Sweet, the number 90 Porsche and the number 135 BMW take one final tour of the Hungaroring as the sun sets on this glorious 6-hour race, which again, happens for everyone who's shown up today, everyone who's driven, everyone who's watched any of the streams, either this stream or any of the onboards from any of our many teams. We had a lot of sign-ups. We had 18 teams start this. I still see so many drivers that are racing. It is testament to show just how dedicated these drivers are. We're seeing leaders come through the chicane. Now I'm going to be non-stop yapping for this last lap because I never thought I would be in this position in a race that I have technically set up with ACM. That gap now between Hagen and Sweet just about 0.3 seconds. The move could still be on for Hayden Sweet, the number 135 Togo Racing Esports, using all of that track, running the track to its very limits, getting very close to that Porsche. They could even be going for a Ferrari-style finish if they want to cross the line side by side. A couple of flashes from the 135 BMW. Hagen in the number 90. The number 90 Porsche is going to be rounding that final corner for the 202nd and final time. They're going to cross the line and they're going to win the ACM X DUEG 6 hours of Hungaroring. Just 4 tenths between them and Hayden Sweet. Macy bringing up third place, a lap behind. The two Toga Racing Esports cars are going side by side to celebrate, probably waving at each other through the window. What an incredible race from both drivers. Absolutely amazing work. Salgasar in the number 12, bringing up P4. Mac and Tons getting P5 and 6. Some of the cars that have been lapped multiple times just coming across the line now, with Snowdog and Gossel finishing 9th and 10th. Gilroy coming across the line in P16. Penalties to number 7 have been cleared by race control. I suppose they thought that disqualification was a little bit of a kick in the shins, which, you know what, I don't blame them for. Tronson is looking slow, but not slow enough for the Blue E team to overtake them before the end of the race, unless they do make a pretty big mistake. Redcliffe's still in the pit lane, but I'm pretty sure their race was technically already finished, so the last two cars we're going to be looking at are Tronson and Taverner in the number 424 Bluey Ferrari 296 to round out this endurance race, the first ever endurance race set up for Durham University Esports and Gaming. We're going to cross the line in P14. And again, thank you to everyone who has taken part in this weekend, whether it is by just watching the stream, cheering on their favourite team, watching the onboard of said favourite team. If you're driving and watching this video back, hello from the past, but also just thank you to everyone who has shown up and made this race absolutely magical. Hoping to do a lot more in the future, but yeah, that is all for today. Toga Racing taking first and second place. An incredible finish by that team. Onid bringing up 7th and 8th. We've got a lot of different teams, lots of different drivers, all celebrating, finishing these 6 hours of Hungaroring.
Perfect. Well, thanks. I'll echo your thoughts there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I don't know what races are coming up for ACM, but definitely tuned.
Well, I think I can give a little bit of an update there. We've got the Southern Sprint Sunday tomorrow, which is a new series for ACM. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the joke in there.
That's okay. Yeah, we've got that new series, 2 30-minute races, the second one being a reverse grid. We've got the Porsche Cup Challenge at Brands Hatch on Tuesday. Ginetta Challenge sorry, it's almost skipped Mini Endurance there. The Mini Endurance series continues for its next round at Indianapolis. Friday we have Ginetta Challenge V4 at this very same track. The Hungaroring in the lovely Ginettas, and on Saturday, the 28th of September, join ACM for 8 hours of the Nordschleife. Once again, ACM is opening up their brand new career mode where you can develop your driving talents and seek out a proper racing team. So if that is something that you are interested in, with plenty of races that are lined up, I'd highly suggest going to ACM Racing's website. That's acm-racing.com. If you want to check out career mode, which will be hitting ACC on the 1st of October. Have I missed any details there, Harry?
No, that's all correct.
Brilliant.
1st of October, get yourself down there.
And one quick unrelated question. The number 7 car, I know it's got disqualified for not respecting the meter ball, but then got undisqualified towards the end of the race. What was the reasoning behind this? I just wanted to clear things up.
So we're probably going to have a look at the number 7 car afterwards, because obviously they didn't respect the meatball flag, and that should be penalised, obviously. I just wanted to clear their disqualification just so that the entire 6 hours didn't mean nothing to them. Obviously, we want to apply a penalty to them, but I think a disqualification after 6 hours of racing is a little bit too harsh.
Yes, I do agree. Though it is a penalisable offence, I do agree. The fact that you came up to the last minute of the race and then all of a sudden everything just goes to pot because you don't respect the meatball. Again, big thank you to everyone who's taken part, everyone who's helped me to set all of this stuff up to get everything running and working as it is. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these events in the future, so please do stay tuned, whether that's in the ACM Twitch channel or maybe even on the Dark Esports Twitch channel, because I'm hoping to do a lot more events like this in the future, maybe some shorter races here and there. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone who's taken part, who's watched along, anyone all the stewards, broadcasting team, everyone has done such an incredible job, and I just want to thank you all for taking us on this journey, and yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you yourself for putting on as well.
Thanks everyone for watching.